Okay, good morning, traders. This is Chris here in Hawaii. It is 7th of April, 2020. We're here in the London close session here. So, as I mentioned yesterday, we didn't have any trades. So I took a look at kind of what's going on fundamentally because, really the process that you want to start with, this is a good routine, is really see what's going on in the markets first, then open up your charts because the markets will kind of dictate what you want to trade and why you want to trade it. So, today, just kind of looking at things, the market risk appetite, it's definitely in a positive mood. Broad gains for global stocks. Uh, Equities up on the session so far. Commodity prices are firmer. Energy prices gaining. Um, Markets are optimistic of the production cut agreement at Thursday's OPEC meeting. So we'll see how that plays out. Indications, though, they're a little less consensus at the moment, and I'll talk about that in terms of why I want to trade what I'm trading right now. The outcome of all this is a weaker U.S. dollar as people don't feel the need to have to run to the dollar anymore. There's definitely some sizable gains. The Australian dollar was up last I checked over 1.5% on the U.S. dollar. That's pretty awesome. Yesterday, too, the RBA mentioned that if market conditions continue to improve, that it would consider tapering asset purchases. So that was a very strong positive for the Aussie. China reported no new deaths from coronavirus for the first time since the outbreak began. Spain did report an increase in deaths and new cases. Risk assets plunged to the pandemic and its economic fallout. Stabilization. Yeah, it seems like we're kind of finding a bottom here. If you notice, the volatility isn't as high as it has been, obviously, in previous weeks here. There's not a lot of data today. You've got the Canadian IV PMI. That's nothing spectacular. You've got Trump today, which could always be new. And then another thing, Prime Minister Johnson for the UK is in the hospital still in ICU, but he has not been diagnosed with pneumonia, so he's not on a ventilator, and that was the latest. So we shall see how that works out. So that's kind of the news today. One tidbit I did pick up on was the Kiwi. We had the dairy numbers, which were positive for the first time, I believe, in 4 reports. So that's a strong positive for the Kiwi here. And I'm actually pairing that against the CAD, as you can see here on the chart. And I think there's a nice room for a big reward to risk ratio move here. I think the Kiwi's got more to go against the Canadian dollar, as I believe, my hypothesis is that the Canadian dollar will weaken here going into Thursday as traders get out of it, because it seems like the OPEC agreement has already been mostly priced in. So that's my hypothesis, and that's what I'm thinking. Where on the other hand, the Kiwi had some strong news here that I think is going to support it on top of the improved risk tone. It just seems like Asia is a little bit further ahead on this coronavirus thing than the West. So I'm looking at an entry here at I got in, I believe, at 83.74. I did get in already. And there's a nice support line here at 83.49. So it's close to the 83.50 mark, which is the mid-range. So I put a stop down here at 83.40. So it's got to get past this little cluster of volume, and it's got to get past these tops here in this little cluster of volume. So there's a lot of protection, I think, for us to get into this trade. And when I look at the volume down, and you can kind of see it's already topping off, there's a lot of volume that got in right here at 83.88. So I don't think that was a move to the downside. I'm predicting it's going to be a move to the upside. So that's the trade for today. And I feel confident on it. Just once again, with the dairy prices coming in firmer, that's a real positive. So that's the trade for today. In terms of what else is going on in the market, like I said, it's a real risk-off tone right now. Although there was some news today that New York did have an increase in deaths. Everyone's kind of anticipating today to be the really the apex for the deaths and the reports for the U.S. So New York's kind of the model, I guess, for the U.S. right now. So that's kind of what's going on right now. So what I'm going to do is let's leave this thing on here for the next 39 minutes. If anyone gets on, I'll be happy to chat with you. And let's see how this trade kind of works out here. So technical wise, technicals, I would anticipate, another trade that might be worth getting into, but I would probably wait till a retrace up would be the US CAD short, because the CAD is still going to be firmer, in my opinion, over the US dollar. The US has been bought so much, there's going to be some profit taking and getting out of the CAD. Let's take a look at that chart and see what we have there. That might be something interesting to trade. I don't usually like to trade two of the same currency at once, just because you're getting a little over leveraged there. Okay. So this is you can see the volume here from yesterday. Let's take a look at this last leg down and see what the volume is for this. So I really like the volume profile indicator. It's free on TradingView. It just tells you, it doesn't tell you direction, but it tells you, what's most traded. So you can kind of see here at this 140.23 mark, you already see the tops. So could be another leg down. But you know what? I'd be interested maybe up here if it retraced back to 140.93. That'd be probably the level that I'd be more comfortable with trading this. So my opinion is that this will get broken, and I think this will be the level that I would go with. I'm anticipating going into Tuesday and Wednesday, this might be the level to trade from. You can already see it's kind of running into a little bit of resistance here. This was an engulfing candle here. So an engulfing candle, is really a larger size than the previous candles. So, here at the bottom, and the fact that it was before the London close tells me that there's some volume that's going to be pushing it up here. So, like I said, well, let's keep an eye on this too. Let's see how this one works out, and let's see if what it does. But the cool thing is, if you really take time and look at the charts, price action will tell you a lot about what's going on in the markets. And as you get more comfortable and you get time, it just takes time to analyze the markets and do it repetitively and consistently. You'll see things that are repetitive in the markets. And once again, I think we kind of overcomplicate things here. I mean, the market's going to go up or it's going to go down. That's really the bottom line here. But when is it going up? When is it going down? What are some signs that people are getting into the market to go the other direction, right? That's really kind of the key here. So I'm not really a big fan of oscillators, just because I think they're all lagging indicators. But volume tells you where there's a lot of buying and selling, and that, as long as you have a broker with a lot of data. Like, there's a couple FXCM, Awanda. I'm not going to recommend any brokers, but you want to get a broker that can give you a good representation of the volume in the markets, because that'll tell you, where these levels are at. And then it's just a matter of what you do with the levels. And that's where the fundamentals give you the confidence to go one direction or the other here. So, that's kind of the deal here. You can see it's going down now. So maybe price will respect this. We'll see. Let's see what happens. But, I would say if it does go down, it'll probably go down to here, consolidate, maybe take a leg up. And then I think it'll go even past that if the OPEC deal is on. So let's leave this on, and I'm going to be available here to chat. Oh, sorry, guys. And if you have any questions, let me keep this on, and I'll keep the charts on here. So, oh. That's pretty much it for today. Go on to our live room. There is a news feed on there, and that'll keep you updated with what's going on here at BetterTradr. That's always kind of good to see going into London close. It's the London fix is at 4 p.m. London time, but the close is actually at 4:30. So that's in about 5 minutes here. So usually there's a big move at 4, and then there's another little move at 4:30. So doesn't really affect these trades that we're looking at today, but that might affect the U.S. Canadian dollar. I don't know how confident people will be holding their Canadian dollar going into today. So let's see what happens here. But I'll leave it on, and any questions you guys might have, happy to answer them on the chat.